Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. With this week's tour of events during the final high-end society show to be held in Munich, we'll meet and hear from several of my favorite people in our industry. Ewald Verkerk, the international sales manager for two superb manufacturers, Mola Mola of the Netherlands and the UKs Vivid Audio, and from Vivid Audio's chief technical director and designer, Laurence Dickie. Regular viewers and readers will know how much I respect and recognize the accomplishments of both of these manufacturers' products, as I have reviewed and covered many of their respective models here on the channel and in my writing. To that end, I've included several links to such past coverage in today's description section. If you are not a regular here, you should know that Mola Mola is creating some of the most respectable and, given the stratum of hyper audio products that I typically report on, relatively affordable electronics available today. In fact, their current approach to Class D amplification delivers some of the finest performance I've heard from that class of amplification. And let's not kid ourselves. Laurence Dickie, or Dick as he is known to his friends and colleagues, has been resetting the bar for loudspeaker innovation and performance since his first foray into that arena some 40 plus years ago when he joined the Bowers and Wilkins design team in 1982. Can you say Matrix or Nautilus? Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. Today I'm presenting a virtual visit to the Mola Mola Vivid display in the mostly open space of the first floor of Hall 3 of the Munich Order Center. Now, given the sheer volume of background noise created by all the attendees who are walking through that area and talking, combined with the resultant cacophony of random music selections being played, most often quite loudly, by all the other exhibitors also displaying in that section of Hall 3, I've had to apply some heavy audio processing to be able to eliminate the lion's share of that chaotic background noise to allow us to focus on what Ewald and Dick have to say. And to be honest, this year, these manufacturers weren't even attempting to deliver world-class sonic achievements that they are known for with this display, even though they could have easily done so. Take their presentation last year, where they teamed up in a floor cabin along with Kronos, whom I'll be talking about next week, to present the world premiere of the most remarkable loudspeaker currently available on planet Earth, the Vivid Audio Moya M1. But no, this year, as Ewald will mention in the conversation you are about to see, they were there to make sure everyone remembered that our passion for this hobby should be the sheer joy and fun that listening to our favorite music can bring, and he emphasizes that point from his very opening salutation, mimicking my channel's traditional opening. As such, their exhibit this year was remarkably different. This setup used the top of the Kaya range of Vivid Audio loudspeakers, the Kaya K90, a three-way, six-driver speaker housed in their distinctive, super lightweight, glass-reinforced Soric cord sandwich composite curvaceous enclosure. The K90s featured two pairs of opposing woofers, with two mounted on each side of the lower part of the enclosure, managed and stabilized using their brilliantly elegant reaction-canceling compliant mounting construction. The electronics from Mola Mola included the Makua preamp, the Lupe phonostage, a Tambaki DAC, and a pair of Perca amplifiers bridged into mono mode. The system also included the Inuos Zen streamer. Everything rested on a solid steel equipment rack, and they were using a full loom of the Kabbalah Sosna Temptation level cabling. The turntable in play was a beautifully restored vintage Garrard 301. And get this, all they played on this vintage, hugely influential table were 78 RPM shellacs. First, we'll hear from Ewald as he introduces the Mola Mola Engineering team. And then we'll hear a bit about the Vivid Kaya K90 loudspeakers from Dick. Immediately following that brief conversation, I'll share a short taste of the playback they achieved using primarily 80-year-old recordings cut into shellac and played at 78 RPM. Here they are.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to the Audio Analyst. Today we show you the team behind our beautiful products. And we have the engineering team of Mola Mola. We have Laurence Dickie, Vivid Audio, and our great man in the mill, Willem, who stays an essential part of what we do here at the show. As usually, you see only the beautiful things we produce, but this is the real truth behind it. I want to say thank you, Jan Willem, Frank. You're in. Willem, yes, and Laurence, and we want to take you through the system. Here we have Laurence Dickie standing next to one of his brainchilds, the Vivid Audio Kaya K90. Dick.
Well, K90 is the top of our Kaya range. Kaya is Zulu for home, and indeed this loudspeaker is really ideal for the domestic environment. It features the curvaceous lines of all Vivid products. Curvaceous for a good reason, to keep the diffraction and interference effects down, and therefore giving a purer sound, all those good things. Reaction cancelling to reduce the vibration transmitted to the cabinet. But overall, the philosophy behind this speaker and all Vivid speakers of keeping the sound free of coloration and transparent carries through at all levels. What else?
Okay. Well, I think this speaker is ideally suited for what we present here today, which is a glimpse into why we're in the business anyway. We love music, and we put a smile on your face. We were very surprised with the huge success we had with our humble setup of the Garrard turntable, going into our, as you will know, our Lupe phono stage. And we use a lot of shellacs here. And it might not be the choice for high-end, but it is the choice for people really enjoying what we do, and that's listening to music. We can go on and we can point at all those beautiful boxes, but I think it's about having fun. Thank you. Enjoy your week.
Save your doggone soul. Wearing those dresses, your head done up so nice. Wearing those dresses, your head done up so nice. You look so warm, but your heart is cold inside. I said, shake, rock and roll.
I really hope you enjoyed getting a taste of Ewald's inherent jovial spirit and his lighthearted demeanor. Not only is this sense of humor so very true to his persona, but given that this was recorded on the last morning of the show, his natural good humor was further fueled by the exhaustion that comes with all the late hours and the extreme workloads demanded to transport products to, set up for, and the all-day manning of the display that an event like this entails. But this presentation was such a breath of fresh air at this milestone event that I hope you can understand and appreciate both why this choice was made and how significant I and most of my fellow attendees who stopped in found it to be. In my estimation, doing anything that can bolster, strengthen, and promote the underlying purpose of our industry and of my work covering it, that of reveling in and experiencing the joy and emotional gratification that comes from having the ability to hear music played back in our personal space in a way that accurately and passionately recreates it as realistically and in as an emotionally engaging manner as possible has to be respected and appreciated. The Mola Mola and Vivid experiment offered at this year's final High-End Society's Munich event was presented to validate that listening to high-performance audio gear can be, as it should be, pure fun. It served to remind the show attendees and listeners of the often overlooked, or certainly undervalued and decidedly important truth about how we engage with our music. In doing so, they had delivered a significant statement, creating both an impressive impact and accomplishing their original goal, proving that listening to music is flat out fun. Bravo, Mola Mola and Vivid Audio. As always, thank you for taking the time to drop by today. Further information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my companion website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, cheers.